Hello, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. I hope y'all are all doing well. We try and come here every Friday as best as we possibly can to answer your media ministry questions, folks. I don't know everything, but hopefully the little bit I do know makes your journey a little bit easier. Mike, I'm telling you, good book. We got some stuff. Let me test out something real quick. Hello. All right, so audio sounds fine for me. Let me know if you have any issues with the audio. But again, AJ the CEO, we try and come here every Friday as best as we possibly can and answer your media ministry questions, folks. And we get a chance to just hang out. And I appreciate I get a chance to talk with y'all. Y'all get a chance to talk with me, and it is a good thing. I'm a little excited because I am taking my daughter. I am so thankful that I have a daughter that's into anime, into some animes that I don't even watch. And she likes doing this stuff. So this time next week, we are going to to GalaxyCon, and I am looking forward to that. She wants to dress up, so of course, Daddy is going to dress up as well too. Thomas, what is going on, man? I need to catch up with you, man. I need you to take me on a flight. I see that your kids are into archery, which I never got a chance to get into, always wanted to. But thanks for stopping by, man. I'm telling you, folks, I am excited about just about a bunch of things that's going on. So let me get all the formal stuff out of the way because I am excited about showing you all the stuff. So just know, folks, let me use this platform to shout out your people. Send me an email at questions@ajayhomes.com. Make the email my media team. Send me a picture of your team. Tell me the ministry that you're at, the church, the state, the location, city, country, whichever, so I can shout out your people, give them their roses and their flowers here, and thank them for all the hard work they're doing. Like I said, we have some good people here from Oregon City, Oregon. We got some from Philly, and then we got some others from Columbus, Ohio. Send them out to me, folks. We are still building out our inventory, so for us to do some church live streams. I'm trying to kick this off with me going to Guilford. I'm going to help them up their production, and I want to kind of turn that into something and then base that off of an example. Lanny is in here. I'm going to be reaching out to him. We're going to be having our a question with him. I was supposed to have something with Pastor Kyle, but he had some issues that came up, so we're going to be rescheduling. That's why there was no episode this week, but we'll be working on that. And we're getting closer and closer, folks, to finishing up the podcast room. We got some more stuff in place. Like I said, I've since moved the PTZ that you see to the right, and it's actually in the back where I'm standing. We have 2 more PTZs that are going to be mounted. I got some longer cables for the lights, and we're pushing for people who are real slow to move. But we're looking at painting and then put some other stuff in, and then we can actually kick off the room and everything. Now, this is what I'm excited about. Again, this is my first kind of like anime convention and stuff like that. So my daughter was like, "Daddy, I need you to dress up." So I dressed up in my costume, my one of 2 costumes, and I had ChatGPT make my background for it. So let me know what y'all think about this one. So we got the light side, and then we also have the dark side. So my daughter loved it. So it's going to be fun. So I'm excited about that. But before we get into kicking off, answering y'all's questions and stuff like that, know that if you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions. You are in like Flynn. We are having a round table this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Love to see you there. If you've never been to a, you know what? I'm going to announce it now. We're going to make this one, we're going to live stream this one. So this one will be public, because we always talk about, if you've never been a part of a round table, you don't know what you're missing. And rarely I do this because I want this to be a place where media ministries can sit down and talk about some stuff that sometimes we're not able to talk about publicly, because we might be talking about issues with people that we have in church situations, and we don't want to put that information out there, because we want it to be a nice place where we can talk with like-minded people on how can we handle the situation. We can confide in them and stuff like that. But I need to give an example of what's going on there. So this Sunday on our roundtable, we will live stream, so y'all can pop in and see what's going on. And what we'll do is, just like now, I'll have an option to where I can bring in questions that y'all have, and we'll do it to the group, or we talk back and forth. So just let y'all know about that. What else? If I'm not able to get to your question, folks, know that you can email me a question to AJaytheCEO.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. And if me and you go back and forth between 3 and 4 emails, I'd highly recommend you just go ahead and book a consultation with me. That way I have dedicated time to answer and focus on your questions and the situations that you got going on. One last thing before we finish, let me let you know what my schedule is. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Hold on. Ooh, excuse me. I will be back at Shiloh Baptist Church in Northern Virginia tomorrow to do training, but also rerun a new cable since that pipe is still in water. We got an outdoor rated waterproof Ethernet cable, repulling that, hanging the access point in the other building, put the rack mount up. And also they've decided to go with Unify Talk. So we're going to be installing their Unify Talk phones, migrating us, porting their number over to that system, getting it all set up, and going from there. And then after that, I can do everything remotely. After that, I will be at Gravel Hill the Sunday down in Smithfield. Got to finish up some stuff I did down there. Monday, we'll be back at Galilee Baptist Church down in Smithfield, North Carolina, to add a new camera, move a new camera, install and fix their speakers that were in the ceiling, replace their amp, and install that personal mixer that I did a review for their musician, and adding some other mics and things like that. I will be at Abundant Life back here in Richmond on Tuesday. This is a long time ago where the building got struck by lightning a couple of times. So we're going to be pulling, instead of one new replacement RG6 for their LED wall, I'm going to pull 10 new cables, run them in PVC pipe, put that on the roof, mount that, and run it into the sanctuary. We're going to be doing that Tuesday and possibly Tuesday and Thursday. Then Thursday through Sunday is me and my daughter time hanging out at GalaxyCon. So excited about that. And then the only other thing outside of choir rehearsal that I have to do the second to the last week, well, the last full week of this month, we're going to be in Dover, Delaware, the 28th, the 27th and the 28th to install a sound system and train them. Then I got to get right back Sunday because I got to play on Fifth Sunday. So that is my schedule. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, folks. That helps out the algorithm, push the stuff out. And you know what? I'm gonna give an update because I have a friend from high school that her husband is a pastor, and she's doing some stuff here on YouTube, getting started with that. And let me actually tag this video in there. Maybe she can jump on here as well. But I want to talk about the state of how everything is with YouTube and things like that. Hold on. I will be addressing your issues on this live stream today. I want to talk about some stuff. If you're getting into YouTube, I got a lot of churches that are migrating from Facebook to YouTube, and kind of the state and the landscape and how things are going in YouTube have changed. Mike kind of addressed a little bit of it today. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my concerns and the things that's ticking me off with what YouTube is doing, but we're in their playground, so we got to play by their rules. But when we get into it, folks, get your questions. Start them off with a Q. Makes it easy for me to know where they are, and we'll be able to jump right to them. And let me close all this stuff down so that I have my screen. And let's do a split view so I can see both of these at the same time. All right, we are good. So like I said, start your question off with a Q, folks, so it's easy for me to see. And let us begin. Pastor Rob, when you set up streaming from the ATEM Mini Pro and you push the on-air button, can you still control the scenes in OBS that shows in the live stream? Yes, you can still control them, but they will not be affected by your live stream, because if the ATEM is connected to a computer running OBS over USB, that means the video and everything, just like what I'm doing right now, my ATEM video output is being fed into vMix. And if I was the live stream, and I know they have dual live streaming on here. Oh, I'm not going to try it right now. If I was to live stream from my ATEM right now, all you would see is this shot. You wouldn't see the graphics down below because that's being fed through my software. So yes, you can change the scenes, but it will not affect the live stream unless you are live streaming from OBS. So hopefully that answers your question, sir. Thank you all for your prayers. I've now fully recovered and back to work. That is awesome news, sir. Wait a minute, I skipped over something. My bad. Back to Pastor Rob. And ATEM is connected to mini PC via. Yeah, so yeah, that was still the same thing I was saying. It will not affect that unless you were streaming from OBS. And so that means all of the video and everything that's going into the ATEM is going into OBS. And if the ATEM is streaming using the hardware encoder, that's not being fed in any way, shape, or form with that. Now, there are ways you could do it with the new update. You could say the output The ATEM will be outputting something different, and then you push the signal over USB, but that'll be too complicated and stuff like that. If you want to leverage all the scenes in OBS, OBS is going to have to stream to get that. Good morning, Rhonda. And Mike, I'm going to circle back to you because your comment happened to be next. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and address it now. Mike was saying, I don't like the changes YouTube is doing. Today's live stream was buried. Yeah, YouTube has changed quite a bit of things. So I was going to do this as a video, and I probably still will. So let me actually, I'm going to log into a different account so we can see exactly what is going on with the tubes of you. All right. So if we cut over here right now, this is Antioch's media page. So actually, it's surprising how this is going in right now. So what you'll probably see now is YouTube is pushing shorts more than anything else. Like on my feed, on my PlayStation feed or whatever, when I go to the home screen, it is nothing but shorts. And I'm getting recommended a bunch of stuff. Like right now, I'm being recommended reading through the Bible in a year. That's interesting. I want to see where this channel started from. When did this whole thing start? So they started in January 3rd of 2008. But looking at their videos, it started that's the reading plan. How long did they start? Did they start this at the beginning of the year? No, it looks like they've been doing this for a minute and they're going into different versions. So yeah, so they started with NIV at the beginning of the year. I wonder how long they've been doing that. But either way, keep at it. That's awesome. And I do like the fact that they're going through different versions. Not I. But anyway, they be mindful of that. Also, now again, this is their channel. Make sure you go to any of the things that you've gone through and make sure that you have the bell notification on, subscribed, and all this other stuff like that. Make sure you have that off. See, it moved to personalized. This you will probably want to set to all because as they add new drop downs in here, that might be out of order. Sometimes that update might disconnect some stuff. So make sure you go through that with any channel that you do. And also educate your congregation and the people that are doing that. It should be aligned with leadership in your announcements, mainly leadership as well, too, to ask for the like and subscribe like you see that I'm doing on here. You have to ask that stuff because most people, again, you got to think about it. Most of the people who we're trying to reach, well, you got to change how I say that. We want to, as we pursue other people who are proficient in the social medias and the technologies and stuff like that, we don't want to forget the people left in the background. Like I had an issue with my mom the other day. She was telling me that AJ, the thing on the desktop is not working, and I have this icon on my desktop, and every time I click on it, it goes to my bank. And I'm like, Mom, you made that. No, somebody hacked into my account. No, Mom, you clicked and dragged wrong, and it copied a bookmark to your desktop. I mean, it was. I have to admit, I lost my cool with my mom because I try and give her an answer, and this is my field, and she don't listen. And I'm like, if you ask for help, but you don't want to listen to my answers, then you don't want my help. But anyway, that's one thing that's changed. And I know, like with Michelle, she was asking, like, is there anything in the background that is affecting why people are not reaching your stuff? This is still the classic, folks. The classic when you're posting videos is, and I'm guilty of this as well, too, because some of my stuff recently, I don't know how to turn it into a question. So I'm learning and doing this myself. Your videos need to answer questions. So like the most recent video, I added how to fix a shaky PTZ because I know people have that. And that was my video showing how I solved that issue. You just can't post videos saying this is Macedonia's church service. Okay, maybe some people are doing that, but the masses are not looking for that. Your content isn't being put up for the sake of putting content up. Then I mean, you're borderline doing slop at that point. The idea, what's the purpose for what you're doing? What question is it trying to answer? And put that in your title. Yes, thumbnails will attract people. Titles, as long as they answer the question that gets to it. Tags and all that stuff, that doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, it pretty much says that tags are literally just for most common misspelled things. So tags in my videos are AJ, the CEO, and not AJAY, the CEO. Common things in the video that may be misspelled. Again, what's going to get people to watch your video are the people who are watching it. And this is self-promotion. You need to do this because we need to feed the algorithm. The algorithm looks at you as a person. You're watching my video. What it does is the system looks at you, the type of videos that you watch, and it suggests videos that you may like. But it's also looking at you. Okay, somebody that's watching these type of videos, we're going to find people that watch the same type of videos, and we're going to suggest stuff to that. So get everybody in your congregation to watch the videos so you have a bigger pool of people that the system can analyze, and they will now sample you and sample other people like you to push your content in front of them. So like I've been playing Resident Evil 9. Now I'm getting all of these videos suggested to me. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I think it was my breakfast that was on the tip of stuck in my tooth. Sorry. But since I've been playing Resident Evil 9, now all they do is push videos from channels with millions of subscribers to channels that only got 3 subscribers. So like, I'm going to see if I could do it now. Let's switch back over here. So let's look at the stuff that I have. Pastor Daniel stuff is showing up. Generations, PlayStation stuff. Drone stuff, see Resident Evil right there. What else? We got a bunch of camera stuff. There's another Resident Evil one, DaVinci Resolve stuff I was looking at. Boom, that's popping up. Another Resident Evil one, and we can go to some of these other channels and see that's 592 subscribers. That's what YouTube is recommending to me. That's small channel. So again, it's sampling what I'm doing and promoting it. So use the people that you have at your church. Make sure that they're liking. Make sure they're subscribing. Make sure they're watching your stuff. Make sure they're liking the videos. And now when YouTube sees that, it samples the people and gets the stuff out there to everybody else. That's hopefully that answers y'all's question. Hey, Michelle, and I see you just popped in. And I don't know where you came in on what I was talking about. This is my waiting for her to pop up here on my comments on here. Michelle is somebody I was in band with in high school. We were in show choir together, so it's awesome about that. So interesting. It is true that if you're going to watch a video, you need to watch it all the way through. Actually, no, that's another change that YouTube has made. It used to be watching the entirety of the video. They actually made a change a couple of months ago. It's on the quality. Because again, say I have a six minute long video, but you get the answer to your question in the first 30 seconds. People were getting hit as if it wasn't satisfactory to them. So sometimes, I don't know if you notice, all of y'all, if you watch YouTube, sometimes you'll get, and you go back in the feed, it'll have a question say, hey, did this match your interest? How satisfied you are? So it's not necessarily watching the entirety of it. So that's a lot of things that's changed. The main thing is make the best product that you can, content that you can, that it solves everybody's needs. But the most important thing is change, especially for pastors and churches. If you have a sermon series, that's great that you have a title. Media ministry, if they don't do it, you need to make a subtitle of that video. And the title needs to be something that's, what is this sermon? What is this video answering a question to? That's the best thing. So again, if we go back here, Michelle and everybody, if we go back in here, and this is one of the tricks I learned from Sean Cannell a long time ago, and just say, I'm looking for fasting. So first we're going to do an underscore, do fasting, and then another underscore. Everything that shows up here, the first 20 entries, is what people are searching for right now. So you want to build this stuff off of this fasting for God. Like if we're doing I got to be careful how I do this, but say the tabernacle, and then I would say Israel, and we tie that together. So Israel tabernacle in the wilderness, and then we'll add another one in here, Bible. It's going to take all of these words, and see, nobody is searching for this stuff. So let me take out this. So now we're looking for tabernacle Bible, and you want to add other stuff in here. So you can do how was, and that underscore is like a wild card, and it's going to say not a lot of people are looking for it, but the people who are looking for tabernacle and Bible, they are looking for how was the tabernacle constructed, how was the tabernacle moved, how the tabernacle represents Jesus, how the tabernacle look like, how the tabernacle look like. Wow. But that's what people are looking for. So the idea is, if you have a certain sermon or a topic and you're trying to think about it, first come up with something that could be a subtitle. What question is it answering? And then put in the keywords with an underscore, the word, and another underscore. And it's going to show you what people are already searching for. So again, one more time, if I do the same thing and I do underscore PTZ underscore, I'll say PTZ camera. So what people are looking for, PTZ camera for church live streaming, PTZ camera joystick controller, PTZ camera setup, live streaming, installation, controller, review, outdoor, church, for sports. That's what I would cater to if I'm doing a review. It's helping me. This is what YouTube is saying. If I consolidated the top 20 things that everybody on YouTube is looking for in relation to this word, that's where they're doing. So now you come up with a title that answers this question. Say that, a PTZ camera for church live streaming. So a title of a video would be like, is this new PTZ by blah, 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 the best PTZ camera for your church live stream? See, I have all the words that what people are looking for, and my video answers that question. That's going to get people there. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And been meaning to do a bigger deep dive into that stuff. And, thank you so much, Michelle, for stopping by. You got to catch up. I haven't seen you in years. I hope you all are doing well. And I've been meaning to do more of a deep dive, but a lot of stuff has changed in YouTube that I'm changing myself. So with that being said, because they're pushing shorts at this point, all of y'all need to be doing some type of short content on YouTube, because that's the gateway to get to what you're doing. Opus Clips is the easiest way to do that. You just take your full sermon or whatever that you're doing, push it to Opus Clips, let them create some stuff, or you can make your own shorts yourself. But that's what they're pushing. So since we're in their playground, we need to play by their rules. Parker, hello. Lanny, hello. I can't remember if I said hello to you either, Lanny, but hello. Brian Jones, hello. And again, Thomas is another guy who I went to high school with, and he was in band. So I got a lot of my band folks from Heritage High School dropping by. Exactly. Highly recommend. And now, again, it's not just for media ministry. It's kind of evolved into what we do. Yes, it's founded and ran by people a part of media ministry, but we got a bunch of ministers, pastors, bishops, and everything that are part of there. And again, this ties into my podcast of One Question, where we're able to humanize the stuff that we do from a church standpoint and be real with folks. But Rabbi, question for you. Need to upgrade our streaming PC. Currently handles everything through Decklink Duo, and we use vMix. Which is the best way to go? OC, Duet? Well, I mean, what's the issue that you are experiencing? Because if you're doing vMix, is it vMix is choking and it needs enough resources? Because, I mean, that's going to be a little bit hard just because of the pricing of stuff right now. But give me a little bit more info. What's the main reason that you need to upgrade it? Is it because you're experiencing issues with the live streaming computer? You need to be able to do more. Give me a little bit more for that, so I can help with that. Lanny's question idea: how do you keep your personal info out of your church media? That's a very good question. Let me go ahead and copy that one. I'm gonna copy that one, and I'm gonna add that to my list of questions over here. So again, folks, if you're interested, you could be featured. You can join me on one of the discussions, or just like Lanny, you can add a question to it. So I'm gonna let y'all know some of the questions that we got so far. Is it wrong that I'm tired of serving? Why am I still struggling with the same sin? Why don't I feel close to God anymore? Why does following God sometimes feel lonely? Why don't my finances match my faithfulness? Why do I feel like God blesses everyone but me? Why am I afraid God will ask me to give up something I love? Why do I sometimes miss my old life? I think we talked about that one. Why do I feel unseen in church? Why is it easier to give advice than to follow it? Is my only true victory in death? How do you really hear from God? We actually talked about that one, me and Pastor Rob. How do I actually walk by faith? One thing you would change about the modern church, one thing you despise about church, the worst thing about evangelism, one thing the church gets wrong about blank. Why is it so hard to let go of control? Why are churches avoiding real topics? Is it okay for me to be angry with God? Top 3 struggles about being a Christian. What is one thing I've been wrong about with God? And how do you keep your personal information out of your church media? So we got some good questions on there, and it's random to the draw to get that. Brother Art, hello. And back to Michelle, and I think this might have been the one. I would love to get more views for our church sermons, but I'm not sure if I'm adding them that I'm doing it correctly or posting them on a playlist with tags. Yeah, tags, like I said, tags don't mean anything. Tags are just mainly meant for what are the most common things that are misspelled. The main thing is your title of your video needs to answer certain questions. We got the Hey, look, Thomas, I'll be honest, man. It's been a minute, but I got a blue plastic trombone that I bought, and I haven't played it in about like 4 years. But at my old church, they used to have everybody who used to ever play an instrument, and we would form a band to do Christmas stuff. We haven't done that in like 5 years, but we still got it. We still got it. I can still play Earth, Wind, and Fire Fantasy on my trombone. Rhonda had issues with OBS last weekend. I'm using the ATEM Mini Pro to preserve the video and audio going forward, looking to replace with the ISO to preserve recordings. Thoughts? At the podcast room, they don't even know about it. The podcast room at Antioch, I've been donating a lot of the stuff there because I just have a vision of what it needs to be. And I'm using the ATEM Mini ISO right now. I had another one that was for Formation Sports when I was doing streaming and stuff. And it's been sitting in the case for about last time I used it was at the E-Missionary Conference last year. So I ended up putting that one there in the podcast room because right now I'm the one that's editing. So I needed something that kind of like you said, it will record from all the cameras that are in there, all the audio. So in case anything happens, I have stuff to fall back on. But I think especially the fact that you are looking at it shows that, yes, you should go in that direction. Because most people are like, Why do I need an ISO? If you don't even know what that is, you're probably not at a point where you need it. Anybody who's recording weddings, funerals, graduations, anything to where a situation may happen to where you might need to have another recording, that's where you go down the ISO route. Thomas, you're right. You're popping up on my algorithm because I'm struggling through OBS macros, advancing. Yeah, it's like you answer the stuff. But that's awesome. Hey, and are you still flying? I like I said, I need to catch up with you, man. I love watching the videos of you flying, man. That's the one thing I've always wanted to get my pilot's license, but haven't had the time to. And then that's when I started doing the drones, and I haven't even been flying as much as I wanted to with that. HS Audio, good morning. Hey, you are welcome. I am glad to help. I'm probably going to do a newer one as well, too, because like I'm going to Guilford. This is a church I installed like 3 years ago, and they want to up their production stuff. So I'm going through everything with them, how to improve their service, which is including adding more lower thirds, adding more graphics that will engage the people in place, but also engage people who are watching stuff afterwards. And then and Pastor Rob talks about it, and we talked about it in our conferences. So actually, if you go back in my channel, Michelle, what's his man? Why has his name escaped me? I have it on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember his name in a second, but he does on our first or second e-missionary conference. He did a video talking about how to make shorts for your sermons. If you go under the e-missionary conference 2023, it has a video on that goes over that, but we will be doing some other stuff as well that goes over that. With Opus, there's a limit on the length of the video. Well, it depends. Like, I can upload a 2-hour service, and then, but I say, well, because I'm not subscribed to them anymore. Maybe it's because I have credits left over, but you can upload the length of the video that it sources from, and then you tell it how. Well, like for example, let's actually just do this. Let me cut over. Oh, wait a minute. Some stuff I can't show. That's the YouTube stuff. Hold on, let me find a video of mine. Let's go to my channel. That'll be the easiest thing to do. So let's pull from this one that I did at Lebanon, right? I'm going to take this video here, and let's go to Opus Clips. And I'm going to paste that video in there. And in here, it will look for the entirety of the whole video, but how long do I want my clip to be? My clip length, I only want it to be between 30 and 60 seconds. So to steal what my dad always says as a pastor, the mind can take what the butt can withstand, meaning that you want to get them at a short that is easily digestible, not something that's just going to be like, oh my gosh. You want to get right to the point. So I'm going to let it process my stuff, and we'll come back later to see what it produces for me. And notify, yeah, whatever. So we'll come back to that, and we'll see how that goes. We got another question here. How is your church marketing the gospel, and what can you do better? All right. Let me take that one, and we'll put that in the bottom of my list here on my list of questions. Thank you for that. That's Rabbi. We upgraded from Windows 10 to 11, and since then we're experiencing camera dropouts. And what I would suggest to you, because of micro slop, and they don't like that people are using that name, but stop putting trash in your software, and then we'll talk about it. This is my go-to thing that I do with any Windows 11 install. I look up Windows 11 debloat. And this one, is this the right one? Yes, this is the one that I run, that it will go through. You copy this, and you're going to open up PowerShell. Make sure it's the administrative one. run as administrator. Let me bring this over here. And then I run this command. And give it a second. So I'm going to unpack. And it pops this up. And what this is, it's going to go through and give you a lot of stuff, a whole lot of crap that Microsoft puts in that is slowing down your system. So you can check off here to only show apps that are installed. Now, I've already ran this on my system unless an update has reinstalled some stuff like Notepad, Paint has AI stuff turned on. All that is ways to capture your data and they sell it. So real quick while I'm doing this, I had to tell a church this. Do y'all know the reason why TVs are so cheap? Let me know. Put that in the comments, and I'll give you an answer on what that is. And once I tell you, you will quickly make some changes that I recommend after that. So inside of here, see, I'll come in here and I can turn off the, force it to turn off the Bing search that pops up. I can turn off all these other updates, get rid of Microsoft Edge, turn off the Notepad and force it to use the original one that doesn't have AI enabled and all this other stuff. It will go through here and change all these registry settings so that it gets rid of all that telemetry stuff that it is sending that slows down your system. Like Microsoft did an update that it messed up GPUs to where like people that had NVIDIA graphics cards, it was throttling their performance by 50% because it took over some of the GPU and the Microsoft stuff. So, I mean, and the CPU stuff just so it can send data to Microsoft. But I'm waiting for y'all's answer to that question. Thomas, and Michelle, I still remember Coconut Champagne, how to play that solo. Still know how to do that. I still know how to play One More Time Chuck Corea. I still know how to play the fight song. I still know how to play Mars, the Bringer of War that we did. The Star Spangled Banner where we formed the cross and turned into that 50-foot, the entire football field wide American flag. What else? I still know, obviously, how to play all the stuff that I wrote for the trombone section and stuff like that. But, hey, that stuff stays in your head. We had so much fun. See, y'all going to make me. I got a picture that Ben posted. I don't know if I can pull it up easily. So I said this to some of my folks in here. I was actually David in Jesus Christ Superstar in show choir, where I had to do a split over top of Ben's head, and I was dressed up as Joseph in his coat of many colors. Where is that? Oh, there you go. See, right there. It's a small picture, Michelle, and you're in here. That's your boy right there. And I can't get the picture. Here it goes. Where are you at? I know you in here somewhere, Michelle. But yeah, we had a blast. Let's see. What else we got? George, yep, thank you for that. Nicholas, any insights on how to effectively name the church service live stream? Currently, we name the Sunday service. Honestly, keep that at first, and then once you find the title of the sermon, change it. Or keep it Sunday service, record the entire service, and clip just the sermon by itself, and then trim that down again into shorts. So the idea is a funnel approach. You get people on a sermon clip that just hits them hard and gets them where they need to. Say it's a 10-second something just to give them encouragement. You do a bunch of 10 seconds ones and people binge on that 10-second one. And then the 10-second leads to the 30-second one. Then the 30-second one leads to the 60-second one. Then the 60-second one leads to the 90-second one. Then the 90-second one leads to the 5-minute breakdown of the sermon. When you make a short of a sermon, the idea is you take the entire service and you can now chop it up and dice it up like a julienne salad into as many different small pieces as you want, because you want to leave a breadcrumb trail. So now they are choosing to binge your content that ultimately leads them to the long form content. I tell pastors and churches this all the time. You are arrogant and naive to think that somebody's going to stay on their phone and their tablet or on their computer and watch something for a whole hour. You want to be able to dissect it up. So now, instead of them being held hostage watching your video, they're choosing to watch multiple. So if you have a 30-minute sermon, do it in 5 minutes, 6 minutes max, maybe 7 minutes max, and leave it on a cliffhanger that makes them want to watch the next one, and you lead them into the next one. That's how, again, these are all the things that we see on TV, television shows and stuff. But the issue is now that power is given to us from a media standpoint, and we need to use that same stuff to put that in there. And back to the question of why are TVs so cheap? Ads and selling your data. Exactly. If you go back into your TV, any smart TV, there's a thing called ACR. What is it? Hold on. All right, so here it is. So ACR, educating y'all right now. This is why I always turn this stuff off when I'm setting up a TV. So ACR, automatic content management, is a smart television technology that identifies stuff on your screen, and in real time, it scans and makes a fingerprint of you in your address, your television, your IP address, and it screenshots anything that's on your TV, as well as samples of your audio, sends that to an agency. And that's why when you watch something, all of a sudden you're on your computer, your phone, you get an ad for the very same thing. The reason why TVs are so cheap, they make more money selling this than they do selling the TV to you. So when you click through all those accept, this is what you're accepting to. So what I do is, first off, I go there. There's a lawsuit in Texas for all the television companies that tell them about this stuff. But if you don't do that, go through the menus, and they make it make it easy to sign up, but very hard to disable. One thing you could do is go through the menu, say that you don't want it. The second thing, I do that here with my router. Yes, the Unify one, but other ones can do it too. I have a firewall on all of my TVs that will not allow it to send anything out. So anyway, just let you know, about that. So yeah, like I said, that's exactly it. All those TVs are selling you information. HS Audio was saying, I received an Amazon suggestion today, encoder, and it hits 2 social media sites at once. I'm tempted to try it. I mean, if you can return it, I'll say check it out. Because again, there's so much stuff out there, you just never know. Never know. So folks, like I said, I'm going to do the same thing I've been telling y'all. If you haven't hit that like button, folks, I would highly, well, let me not say highly. I would really like if you would do that, because it helps out this channel. It helps pushes this to more people. And again, it takes a second for you, but it really helps out this channel. For whatever reason, I'm going to be real transparent with y'all. Something is going on with YouTube, because I have hit 71,900 subscribers, and then it's throttled back. Every time I get past like 17,750, it drops back down. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we need to hit 72, because we're making our march to 100,000 this year, because I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, because I'm not trying to be like the angry guy yelling at the clouds and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense. That we'll save that for the round table. Again, the round table is going to be live streamed. So Got a lot of stuff going on. I think I'm gonna do a breakdown as well too. That Mount Tabor is the next church. I was actually doing some stuff with them. I actually started recording a video. I did the intro, but we ended up talking with the people there, and I never got a chance to record. But that's another church that I am migrating them to a bigger unit. I'm migrating them from the Cloud Gateway to the UDM Pro because we're going to be taking over their security cameras using the third-party app integration with Unify. We're getting rid of their phones and moving them over to Unify Talk, just like I'm doing with Shiloh Baptist Church this weekend. Also, that's opening them up for digital signage, which is the same thing working on doing at Antioch, just showing the benefits of the Unify. And I have a bunch of people in the comments still saying, why is everybody like Ubiquity don't pay me jack squat? They don't. Just like Black Magic doesn't pay me anything. I'm recommending stuff that I know I've personally used. When I get my hands on stuff that's performed better, I recommend that. I have no allegiance to anything. I have an allegiance to, does this tool help us accomplish the mission? That's what my allegiance is to. I just want to show what options y'all have out there available. Nicholas was saying, I personally choose to create a redundant email address for smart TVs and ensure it's a foreign static IP on them. Hey, I do the same thing. I have an email. I got a junk email that I always register for. Or if you have a Google email, do you know y'all could always add whatever your email address is? You could add a name, a plus, and then a name to it, and it'll still act as an email address. I do that on YouTube. So when I get these scam people that say, "Oh, I'm with Bitcoin and I love your content. I want to be featured with you," and it's pure scam stuff, I always have an email. I give them my email plus then another name. So like I have one on YouTube. If you ever email me that one that says info@ajhomes.com, that's actually another alias that I have so that I know that it's coming from YouTube. So when I get an email from somebody and it has that plus info or whatever tag that I have on it, I know where it came from, or I know that somebody is selling my data. So if I have to give my email address to like a television company or a product, I append it. So when I started getting that email from somebody else, yep, that's the company that sold that email address. That's right. Yeah, Unify is the way to go. I have it in all my churches that I support. Built exactly. Brother R wants to know how to bring a YouTube video to Facebook. Honestly, I just copied I just copied the link to the video and paste it. It's not going to show. It depends. YouTube sometimes will do an embedded video of it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's at the discretion of Facebook. That's what I'm helping this other church do. They are so adamant that they want to do everything on Facebook. But I'm like, okay, this is my question to everybody who's still live streaming on Facebook. Go back to last month. What video do you have? Guess what? It's not there because they delete everything after 30 days. So this is my point of understanding the tools. If we're really doing this for ministry, hey, say that you live stream something to Facebook and it was heartfelt, word inspired, God filled, everything like that. Wouldn't you want to share that again? But on Facebook, it's gone after 30 days. So it's not that I'm hating on Facebook. Facebook was not built for video. They added video because of COVID, and their infrastructure does not support it. That's the reason why they're trying to get rid of all that stuff. But that's why I'm just telling other folks that, because even think about it, the older saints and everybody's doing it. Again, for you to watch Facebook, they don't have Facebook Watch anymore. So yeah, you could cast it to a TV, but for the most part, to go on Facebook, you're going to have to use a computer, tablet, or a phone. Which means, ultimately, if somebody needs to watch it, they also have to have a Facebook account. They need to be able to find you, follow you to watch it. So in other words, you have a country club. It's members only. When you post it on YouTube, anybody on the world can find it. That's just my mindset to that. Philippo, how can I set the laptop? How can I set the laptop to on when it receives power? Hold on a second. I think that was my doorbell. That's the one thing I have an issue when I have my headphones on, and I sold my viewport so I can see all my cameras here. Okay, maybe that was just something in passing. But I'll keep my camera up here so I can actually see what's going on. Let's actually move that to the screen, and we can see the camera here. I could receive power like a PC. I went through the BIOS, but unable to get the power management setting the laptop ran. I mean, if it's not built into the laptop, there's no way to necessarily do that. I'm not aware of. Typically, there would be a BIOS there to do that says that what to do when power has been maintained. But most of the time, I don't think that would work with a laptop, because if you lost power, because it has its own internal battery, I don't think that would work like that. So I'm not sure. I told my daughter, she was asking me about something. I said, Yanni, in the wise words of Blade, Wesley Snipes and Blade, some people are always trying to ice skate uphill. They're always trying to make stuff more difficult than it needs to be. It's all right. Hello. Right, and they let you know we deleting it, save it if you want. Exactly. Exactly, because when you do it on YouTube, you're opening it up to not just your church, but anybody. And if we talk about what we did at the beginning, if your video is answering a question, you're organically going to get people that come to your channel. Like, I focus on media ministry stuff, but I've had so many, when I did that short talking about how to get rid of your echo in OBS, I have more streamers that stream games that do that. And I really am thinking about starting back up Sir Trick-a-Lot and play games, but just realize the games I play, they're not church conducive. So if I decided to do that, I mean, if I'm playing games, but I mean, as much as I do, I don't know. It's a balancing act. But HS Audio, a ministry said to me that they have many members overseas and they primarily watch on Facebook. What do you think? Do both. Why have many points of entry? I'm not saying completely get rid of Facebook. I'm saying just don't do only Facebook. You know, multiple streams of ministry that you can reach from every branch. Like, again, I'm guilty of this as well too. I'm still trying to figure out for me what type. My content is always long form, and I have to be intentional to make something that's short, because mine is dragged out, because I show every single step as best as I possibly can. That's what separates me from other folks. Our greatest. Hey, see, I would have gotten on High Guard, but that thing died so fast. Again, most of my stuff is long form RPGs, first person shooters, Resident Evil. I need to go back and I'm on my mission of trying to get all of my platinums and everything like that. So I'm gonna take a little twist, a little turn here for y'all, just to know that AJ still be gaming and stuff like that, but just show you what I do on my off time. This is my profile, my PlayStation profile. We have 240, actually it's 247 platinums, and trying to finish up Resident Evil 6. I already platinumed it on PlayStation 3. I'm doing it on PlayStation 4, but that's Requiem we just finished. 7 we just did. I need to go back and God of War Sparta. Bloodborne took me 10 years to beat that one when I finally sat down to do it. We got a bunch of stuff. Dispatch is good, but man, that video game is wild. The stuff they show. So we definitely can't be streaming that. We'd get banned super fast for the stuff they be doing on that. The language, the visuals, all that stuff. But yeah. Bobby here. Are you still selling computers? I have a church that wants to purchase the same computer I bought from you. Bobby, I would say reach out to me, just because the stuff has shot up in price. I can do it, but it's almost like a as need type of thing, because like I gave my other drive like this. I donated that to Antioch, and I was going to buy myself another one. And that same drive that was already overpriced at $180. Now it's going for $280. I'm like, no, I'm not dropping $300 on something that I used to be able to get 6 months ago for $90. Like, I'm not paying a $200 markup on anything, but I can work around it. That would have to be something that I would have to design on the fly. And once I design it and get the pricing of it, I would need somebody to pay me at that moment because the prices fluctuate like crazy. So, Bobby, you can have them email me if they need that, and we can try and design something if they really need something. Back to Philip Paul. Could a dual or quad core support one multi-stream? A quad core, yeah, but it would suck. To be honest with you, because the computer's going to eat up all of that. Don't even dare try a dual core. Let me put it this way, and I need to do that video. If you could do it with a dual or a quad core if you put Linux on it. That's how you could do it. You put Windows on it, no. Now Linux can run OBS. That's what the system on the floor I have can do, and I really need to finish that video and do that. That would work. On a Windows system, no, it would not work. Would you recommend portrait or landscape orientation for the short forms? It depends on the platform that you're trying to do. For the most part, the platforms, TikTok and Reels and stuff like that, it would be in portrait, which I hate doing because I do everything in landscape. But again, that's my mindset. Like when I do shorts, like when I went on my cruise and stuff like that, I intentionally turned it so it can do portrait when I was on sampling the Royal Caribbean club that they opened up. I did that in horizontal. I mean in portrait, but I never do that because I mean I want to be able to get the wideness of the shot. But if you're doing that, yes. Now this will work as well too. If you want to live stream to Facebook, you can still do it. But again, multiple streams of ministry. Live stream to Facebook, record it, download it. I personally don't like downloading because once you download it, it's been compressed. And then every time you push it to another system, it gets compressed. But either way, download it, then upload it. Yes. Philip Paul. If I replace the SSD on the PC, do I need to reinstall Windows SSD? No, you can use a program called Ease US, which is what I use. Wrong one. So it's called the Partition Master. That's the one that I use, and I've used that every time I'm trying to upgrade something, and I'm waiting for it to open. There you go. So this app, now you do need to pay for it, but you can buy a one-time thing, or you can buy a lifetime license. I bought the lifetime license. So what this will do is you could transfer your system, meaning that you could back up. You could put in another hard drive, and you can go from an old hard drive to another one, and it will migrate everything. You would not have to reinstall anything. That is the easiest way to do that. And I don't know why it's saying the trial version. I have the full version. Anyway, I need to probably put my product key back in here again. But that's what I use. That's Ease, EASEUS PC transfer, or no, that's not the right one. It's the migration. Because, yeah, this is the one that I have, the suite. So I don't know why. Because they have multiple apps. Maybe they opened that one. Yeah, so, yeah, this is the Pro. That's the one. So I can come in here and say I want to migrate my OS. It will come in here. It natively selects my Windows 11 or whatever install, and then you pick the other drive, and it will migrate everything over. Granted, this app, when I bought it, it was $49, and I use it all the time for any computers where I need to upgrade and stuff like that. That way I don't have to reinstall everything. I'll see if I could put a link. Partition Master. This program used to be free back in the day. Back in the day on the Boulevard of London, we used to kick teas on the presence was fitting. It was let's see, I'm about to go into some stuff. if Anthony was still here, he'll probably listen to that because I know he be posting some of the old school stuff there. But that's the tool that I use. David, would you say that it's worth purchasing a PS5 now or wait until? Oh man, that PS6 ain't coming out no time soon. No time soon. So I would say go for it. Personally, if I had money to blow, I would probably buy another one. Because I know my daughter's into gaming stuff, so when she plays, I really can't play nothing. But I do like the fact that my daughter is a gamer. Her mom isn't. So when she comes over here, she's into Minecraft, and I'm trying to get her into some other stuff. But we'll see. I'm making a game too, AJ. It's called AV Life Sim, made in Unreal Engine about an AV tech person taking shots. That's sweet. I'm actually making a game as well too, but I'm not talking about it at all. But I am. The other thing I'm learning when I have some free time is learning the Unreal Engine so that I can actually use that. And I think, Mike, you did this as well. So I can take the green screen video that's in the podcast room and throw it into an Unreal Engine kind of background to make my own type of stuff. Working on that as well too. But there's always something else you could do. I mean, for a multi-platform server that will support dual or quad core. Like I said, Linux would be your better thing for that. Either one will work that way. Let's go. There you go. I would do. That's sweet. And Queens, New York. Sweet. Oh man. So folks, like I said, we're gonna be at the round table. I got a lot of stuff this weekend to do, and then we're gonna be on the road like a bit next week. Yeah, it is a lot easier to green screen now, but see the issue that I have there is I have that and I told them this and they get mad at me for saying it. The walls inside the church, they have the asylum blue. Like it was in an asylum for crazy people, and that color is so light it blends into almost any clothing that people wear. So trying to do some lighting, some other stuff. What I really want to do is have a foldable green tarp, which I do have, but I need to get a bigger one so that at any point in time I could cover like half of the walls and all green, including the floor, and I can really put them in any environment. But the stuff you could do at church, if you just have a vision and imagination, and you can get people with no vision and imagination out of the way, makes this stuff a lot easier. But hey, folks, like I said, if you have any other questions that I wasn't able to get to, know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond to you. And like I said, if you need any more help, set up a consultation. We do Zoom, Google Meet. We do travel, obviously, to help modernize your media ministry. And again, I want to give a big thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members. If you like what we're doing here, and I'm gonna keep showing the name, but like I said, our mission this year is I want to make a pivot to where I'm gonna scale down. What I would like to do, and it's almost like the church plea, if I wanted to do it this way, because y'all know what we focus on here. What I want to do is say we have 72,000 subscribers. I would really like to get everybody to say that they commit to $12 a year, $1 a month, so that just imagine at $72,000 a month, what we can do to go in and not just teach ministries, but actually we have a part in transforming ministries. I'm not just talking about handing money over to churches that are going to exploit that stuff. Being led with churches that have a good message. They're trying to help the community, but the finances aren't there. To be a blessing, to help them with something, to come in and partner with a bunch of companies. Like, how strong is that for me to go to the Sonys, the Panasonics, the Hollylands, who Hollyland just reached out to me, as well as Ori and some other things, so some projects we're working on. But to be able to go to these companies and be like, hey, we have a community of 72,000 people that we're going to do this. Would you like to be a part of it? Because that's free advertising for them to be able to be like, hey, we'll donate a brand new sound system and speakers. We'll donate a projector. We'll be able to do that. And we can actually not just teach, but we can physically transform stuff. That's the mission that I'm really working on, to be able to, yeah, I can install a whole bunch of stuff. But how many ministries can we say that, just like back in the day, I don't know what church you came from, but I remember back in the day, you would have stained glass windows, and at the bottom it would say that this was donated or this was by this family or whatever. Just to know that we can put a plaque and say that, hey, these people, is y'all physically were a part of helping to transform another ministry. And that's not just in the U.S., that's worldwide. That's what we're focusing on. So just think about it, about being able to just be one to say, hey, I can commit to $1 a month, so that all of that, it doesn't go to my pockets. It goes to a separate bank account for all of that stuff to be used to buy the equipment to transform another ministry. And really looking forward to being able to do some stuff like that. But if you're interested, you can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you're helping us modernize and transform media ministries all over the world. Let me do 3 last things, and then we're going to be up and out of here. So if you use DaVinci, can you separate the background and then render out? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Still waiting on your communication restructuring of support avenues. I don't recall that. I'm sorry if I missed that. Please forward it again to me if you don't. Hey, and Pastor Rob, I did have that downloaded. If it wasn't for the freak weather that we had in Virginia, where it was 85 degrees, then it went to 70, then it went to 30, then it started raining, then we had a snowstorm, and then it went back all in a 12-hour period. I actually had that done, but then they canceled a whole bunch of stuff at school, and I had to leave my dentist appointment and pick my daughter up, and that kind of messed my stuff, but I do have that. And last one I'll do with Mr. Clarence, if it'll ever show up on vMix. There it is. Any apps to stream directly to smart TV? Well, it all depends. It depends on the type of TV, what protocol you're using, and what you're trying to do. Because for the most part, if it's a Google TV, you have the cast built in. And then worst case scenario, you can almost stream anything. Most of them have it built in if it's on the Wi-Fi or it's connected over Ethernet. But is there any particular thing that you're trying to stream? Exactly. And then I think Jay Davis is the last one I'm going to do before we get up out of here. Thank you for the tip last week on the no audio drop on the pastor. Oh, you are welcome. Glad that helped you. All right, folks. Hey, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Time is the one thing that you're never going to get back. And I know that's the most valuable thing that we have. So I appreciate the fact that you gave me a little bit of that time, something that you're never going to get back. And I hope it made it value to you. Just know that you're appreciated. We would miss something if you weren't doing what you were doing. No matter what it is, no matter how big it is, no matter how small it is, we need you. So I thank you for all the dedication and hard work that you're doing. I appreciate it. We need you. And I'm just glad you're here in the fight doing the same stuff that we're doing, no matter what level it is. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. And we'll be catching you on the next video. And we hope to see you live on our our round table this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want to be a part of it, all that information is on the Facebook page. Or if you just want to be watching and sending questions, kind of like how you do it, just look out for the live stream, and we'll be seeing you there, folks. Y'all have a good one, and we'll be talking y'all and seeing y'all in the next video, folks. Later.